Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Potsdam's Pine Street Arena for this evening's Northern Athletic Conference hockey game between the Potsdam Sandstoners and the Massena Arena. I'm Jerry Manor, alongside me Dave McLennan as we get ready for tonight's broadcast. First game, Potsdam 4, Massena 1. Dave, what's the key tonight?
I think there are a couple of keys, Jerry, for the Sandstoners. Looking at it, they have to play disciplined hockey. They can't take any foolish penalties because you're just asking big trouble when you take a penalty against this Massena power unit. In fact, two power units. They not only have one, they've acquired a second unit that was really effective up against Seton. And also young Mr. Blanchard, Terry Blanchard, has to play top of his game. And the Stoners, I think, they're an opportunistic team. And you, from the Raiders' standpoint, you can't give them too many opportunities in your own end. In other words, you've got to reduce your turnovers in that end. And also, I think Massena's got to create some traffic in front of Terry Blanchard, which they didn't do the last time. The Stoners have a very big, solid, experienced defense led by a couple of guys that we're well aware of.
That's right off the face-off. It's the Morris line out there against the Bradley line. Puck goes into Potsdam territory. Here is Jeff Bigelow trying to pass it around behind. He's taken out of the play. Picking up the loose puck is Chad Narrow, and he starts it out for the Sandstoners. Just underway here. Narrow steps across the Massena line. Cameron stops him for a moment, but now goes into the corner off the back stick. Now pokes free, and Jake Morris picks it up. Here comes Morris, breaking out of the Massena end. Jake starts it across the red line, across the blue line. Here comes Morris, drop past Cameron. Cameron trying to go to Bigelow. Bigelow tied up, and the Sandstoners dump it back out to center ice. Jason LaBarge is there to pick up the loose puck. He drops it to LeBack as Massena makes a line change, and that Jason Jackson line comes out. Potsdam will change and bring out the Putnam line, I'm sure, as soon as they get a chance. Joe DePinto now on his own end. Checked by Jackson. The puck squirts free. Chris King after it. King loses to Jackson. Jackson centering pass right in front. It's knocked down on the defense. And back comes Potsdam as they break it out to center ice. Just about out to center. King, he finally pokes it ahead. And Kellison picks it up to an open wing. McCracken at center ice. His pass is intercepted by Brian Putnam. Putnam runs into Kellison. Kellison comes away with a puck, drops it back from McCracken. McCracken line from Massena, dropping it for Tommy Post. Post pass up along to Kellison. Kellison pokes it in the zone for Jackson. Here comes Jason trying to stick handle. Has it taken off his stick by Stafford Hazen. Hazen trying to move it ahead to Putnam, and he backhands it out to center ice. Flip it ahead. Brian Putnam breaks in on the left side. He's got 2-on-1. The shot. He fires it wide. And the puck around the boards. That time the Massena defense again giving up the puck at center ice this time. Here comes Kellison back the other way. He's just going to dump it in the zone as Massena wants a line change. Stopped in behind the net. Picking it up there is Eric Grayling. Grayling is going to try to takes it away. There's going to be a penalty. And now there's going to be a penalty on Grayling as Fauché gets called for hooking and Grayling for roughing. As after the penalty was called, Grayling gave Fauché a shot. And not exactly what you would call a smart penalty.
No, it certainly wasn't. The Stoners were going to go on a power play. As you mentioned, Jerry, they caught Joey Fauché for hooking, and Grayling in frustration turned around and railed him from behind and knocked Joey to the ice, and the referee Wayne Hamel right there and happened 5 feet away from him, and he just pointed at Scott Grayling. So that goes under the category of a real foolish penalty. We got a fast pace going on here tonight, fast ice. Both clubs are really pumped up for this game. As you mentioned at the top of the show, each Potsdam with a 4-0 in Division I, and the Raiders a 4-1.
Morris will take the face-off. Out there, 4-on-4. Jake wins the draw, drops it back, and LaBarge dumps it in the Potsdam zone. Back after it is DePinto. DePinto in behind his own net. Flips it on the 45. Stafford Hazen can't get it out. Morris knocks it down. Now it's poked out to center ice. Brian LeBack dumps it right back in the zone. Massena clears. It comes to DePinto, left side of his net. He kicks it to the side of the net. Blanchard flips it in the corner for Carl Bradley. Goes back to the point. Jason LaBarge trying to get the shot off. Now he goes by the D. Goes to Morris at the 45. He slides it in behind the net. Bradley gets it out to center ice and breaks by LaBarge. We got a 2-on-1. Here's Carl Bradley shot. Poke checked away by LeBack. LeBack headman to Bigelow gets by him. And again, a Massena defensive mistake. They gave Potsdam the 2-and-1. Now back the other way is Carl Bradley. Poke checked away from him by Bigelow. And finally, Potsdam dumps the puck in the Massena zone. And Dougie Cullen stops it. Here comes Jason Jackson moving to center ice. Jackson headman to Bigelow, and Bigelow just dumps it. And he wants off. Goes in the Potsdam zone. Back after it is Richie Scott. Scott in behind his own net now, flipping it over on the other side to Kevin Talcott. Bangs it out to center ice. Yeah, it did get out as Post tried to keep it in, but offsides will be the call. George Dobbins, one of the officials, along with Wayne Humel, made the call right at the blue line. He was right on it. 19 seconds left in the matching minor penalties. We're down to 11:48 left in the first period. And on the Corky's Collision scoreboard, Goose Egg 0-0.
A couple of changes in tonight's game from the last time these two teams played for the Sandstoners. Sanford Hazen and Chris King have just flip-flop on that left side.
Off the face-off. Here's McCracken with it for Massena. Steps by the defense, feeds to Jason Jackson. Jackson in the corner now, right side. Looks to go back to the point, Barkley. Barkley just slides one through. It's knocked down. Here comes Potsdam with a breakaway. Breaking in. Here's a shot. Nice save by Dougie Cullen, and he holds on for the face-off. And let's see, who was that breaking in for Potsdam? I think that was Sean Putnam. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was Stafford Hazen. And Dougie Collins just stayed with him, made the save on the breakaway.
A great save early on, and that really pumps up a giveaway at the offensive blue line for Massena. Number 8, Stafford Hazen picked off the pass, and he had a clear breakaway from his own blue line in. And Dougie Collins stood tall, made Stafford Hazen make the first move, and he tried to go upstairs, up over the top right-hand shoulder. And Dougie made the beautiful save and held on for the rebound. Big save early on.
We're back to full strength. Putnam's line out there against the Jackson. Off the face-off, DePinto's shot is knocked down. It bounces into the corner. McCracken after it. Steps by a check, trying to flip it out. Bounced away from him. Now it's Barkley throwing a check, and Jason Jackson picks up the loose puck. Trying to slide it free. It's bounced back into the corner. Now McCracken back for it again. Trying to feed to Barkley. Potsdam trying to control it. Goes back to the point and dumps along the 45 again. Putnam with it. Gets checked by Jason Jackson. Jackson takes the puck away. Here's Jackson starting out. Headman pass, poked away, as that was meant for Freddie Kellison, and the puck dumps right back in the zone. That's going to be an icing call. And that'll move the faceoff back in Potsdam territory. That came from the Potsdam blue line after a pretty big collision.
First, a little less than 5 minutes, 10:49 left in the first period, and the Stoners have had the better scoring opportunities, Jerry. 3 or 4 good opportunities, and Dougie Cullen has made some excellent saves. The Raiders have changed their forechecking pattern. They're holding that off wing somewhat. They're not sending 2 men down in early on in the game. They're trying to read the Potsdam defense.
O'Shea's line now against the Mike Saber line. Saber out there with McCabe and David Grant. Off the face-off, the puck comes to Richie Scott. Scott flips it to Grayling, and Grayling dumps it down the ice, trying to catch a wing breaking, but it goes by him. That was meant for, let's see here, I guess that was Grant. No, Saber, rather, and it goes way by him, and down the ice, another icing call. This time they'll face it off to the right side of goaltender Kerry Blanchard.
That was a perfect example. Potsdam went D to D, and the weak side wing, who then became the strong side, didn't dive down on that defenseman, gave him all kinds of time, and Potsdam tried to hit the man up the middle.
Face off, O'Shea will draw against Saber. And somebody encroaching on the circle. Now they draw it again, and the puck goes into the corner. Grayling picks it up, flips it around the boards. Pinching in is Labarge, trying to slide it through. Scott is there to dump it out to center ice for Potsdam. Now Whitcup trying to flip in the zone, delay offsides. Massena clears. Richie Scott goes after it in behind his own net. Starts out right side, bounces it off the boards. They jam for it. Bouncing puck slides out to center ice. Levac is there to dump it back in the zone. Massena clears the zone, and Grayling picks up the puck behind his own net. Flips it over to Scott. Richie Scott starting out for Potsdam. Long headman pass knocked down by Levac. It comes to Labarge. His clearing pass doesn't get out. Here's a quick shot knocked away as Cullen makes the save, and Levac flips it into the corner. Now the bounce pass comes back. Grayling shot knocked down in front. Here's a backhander. Hits the back of the net. Now jamming for it is Tommy McCabe, looking to go back to Grayling. He shot through traffic, and I think Cullen made a save on it. Now the hard check thrown in behind the net. Levac after it there, looks to move it along the boards, flips to the 45, and Tommy Moore finally gets it out from Massena. Here comes Moore, busting down the left wing, takes it to the middle. Here's Moore's shot across the open goal mouth, and it bounces back to the blue line. Tommy Post keeps it in the corner as Massena makes the line change, getting the Jake Morris line back out there. Joey DePinto now with a puck in his own end, trying to flip it ahead. It goes by McCabe out to center ice, picked up by Aaron Barkley for the Raiders. Barkley circling. He goes to Cameron. Cameron steps by one check, trying to move it down the line, has it taken away, and back comes Chris King. He loses it at the blue line, flipped ahead to the Potsdam line. DePinto is there to flip into the Massena zone. Back after it, Aaron Barkley. Barkley in behind his own net, feeds Cameron on the wing, hits Jake Morris to Bigelow. Bigelow back to Morris. Jake butts down the zone. Right side, takes it by the D, and he's upended by DePinto. It comes back to the point. Kept in there nicely. Here's Bigelow. His shot goes high over the net. Bounces in the corner. Cameron after it. Cameron back to the point. Aaron Barkley's shot goes wide. Bounces around to Tommy Post at the other point. He backhands it to Bigelow in the corner. Bigelow centering pass comes to Cameron just by his stick and into the corner. Cameron now looking to go back to Barkley at the point. Barkley flips into the circle, intercepted, and back comes Chad Narrow. His pass knocked down. Into the zone. Potsdam trying to center it. Here's a shot by Bradley. The rebound. Score! And picking up the goal will be Chad Narrow on the rebound to follow Bradley's shot. And Potsdam goes up 1-0. 2 mistakes on that one. Good perseverance by Carl Bradley. He really little weak shot at goaltender Dougie Cullen, and Dougie kicked the rebound, or actually flicked it with his stick right back out, and Bradley followed on through, and the Raider defenseman did not tie him up. There were 2 mistakes. Dougie should have either held on to that one or turned it in beside the net. What he did, he redirected it right back out in front, right back to the shooter, and the Massena defenseman didn't have it tied up, and he just tapped it gently. It wasn't hard, and it just found the inside of the far post, and Stoners are up 1-0. So Potsdam draws first blood, 1-0 Potsdam on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. And Jason Jackson against the Brian Putnam line. Off the face-off. Here's Grayling trying to flip it to the Massena line. Levac is there. Headman's to Kellis, and he dumps into the zone. Grayling knocks it down, backhands it back to the Massena blue line. It goes through Levac's legs. Putnam coming in on it, but out of the net is Massena goaltender Dougie Cullen to knock that one down. Here comes Jason Jackson now. Steering by some traffic, bounce pass to himself. We got a penalty on Potsdam. Here comes Jackson. We got the extra man out, Morris. Here's Jackson. Gets the shot off. And, he just missed. Just wide and high. Now Massena in the corner. As Massena's got the extra man on the ice, but Potsdam touches the puck. And so the Sandstoners pick up a penalty here. And it will be Massena going on the power play, trailing it 1-0 on the Corky scoreboard.
I think he's going to call an interference call on number 19, Brian Putnam. Brian is one of the tri-captains of the Stoners, and the Raiders, as you said, going to go on the power play, Jerry, and they almost got the equalizer. Jason Jackson sifted his way in from the neutral zone and went by a couple of Stoners, and you and I both thought it was labeled for that top corner. Just grazed the goal post up to the top of Kerry Blanchard, but that goal... that was Chad Narrow, number 21, correct, on the goal, and the assist will go to Chris King and also to number 6, Carl Bradley, at 6:42. And Chris Narrow, he impressed me the last game they played.
Okay, Jake Morris out there with Bigelow and Cameron. LaBarge out there playing 1 point along with Tommy Post. Bradley out to take the face-off. Dalkett's out there. He gets the puck and flips it to the blue line. Kept in. Goes to Morris from Post. Here comes Jake with a puck now. Back to Tommy Post at the point. Post. Stick handles. Gets the shot. It's knocked down. Goes to Morris. Jake. In the corner now. Bigelow. Bigelow back to the point. Tommy Post. He drives it. And it gets knocked down by the defense. And Tommy Post changed his mind at the last second. And Bradley just, sprawling, stopped it. Back in the Massena end now. 57 seconds in the power play. Cameron's long headman pass. Or that is Cameron getting the headman pass. And it comes free. It's knocked down in front. And Chris King has it taken away by Cameron. Goes to Bigelow into the zone. Here comes Jeff Bigelow. Shot. Hit the goal post. Rebound. Just wide. Where is it? Side of the net. In behind. Here's Cameron with it. Cameron circles. Back to the point. Tommy Post. Post. Over to LaBarge. LaBarge the drive. The save. The rebound. Cleared back to the blue line and out to center ice. Oh, boy, that was close. Here comes Jake Morris with it from Massena. 1-0 Potsdam. Morris to Bigelow. Give and go. Back to Morris. He takes it in the zone. Drop pass. No, he keeps it in the corner. As it poked away, Cameron gets it back to LaBarge. LaBarge over on the other side. Tommy Post. Post flips it. It goes to Bigelow. Bigelow trying to bounce it. Comes back to Morris. Back to Post at the point. 4 seconds left in the power play. Morris in the corner for Bigelow. Bigelow back to the post. Post the shot. He fired it way wide. And Putnam's back out on the ice. So Massena's power play advantage goes for naught. And here comes Potsdam back the other way. Across the blue line. Here's the shot knocked down. It comes back in front. They jam at Tommy Post with a puck. Here's Post. Flipping it to Bigelow. Jeff with a puck now. Breaks it across the zone. He's got Cameron busted. Gets a shot off. It's wide. and the puck goes into the corner. It's picked up there by Sean Putnam. Back out to center ice. Levac flips it in the zone. Knocked down in front by Richie Scott. Scott's headman pass goes into the corner in the Massena zone. Bradley, or make that Barkley. Barkley starts it back. Dumps it. It hit Whitcup on his back. He gets onside and pokes it free. Grayling takes it away and starts it back the other way. Here's Grayling just sliding in the Massena zone. Levac is there for the Raiders. Levac flipping it to Barkley. Barkley starts to move it. Ahead for Fauché. Joey didn't see it. Intercepted there by Chris King. He flips it back into the Massena zone. Still 1-0 Potsdam. Just over 5 left in the first period. The puck dumps to Tommy Moore. Moore backhands it to center ice. Stopped there by Joey DePinto. DePinto, headman pass. They move it back the other way. Chris King across the blue line. And it bounces into the corner. Here's Levac with it. Levac trying to get it out on the backhand. Knocked away. Good forechecking by Chad Nero, but Massena does clear the zone. Bounces along the blue line. Dumps right back in the Massena zone. Comes into the side of the net. And goaltender Cullen flips it into the glass. Now Levac throws the check as he jams for it along with Chad Nero. And Levac skates away with the puck as Fauché comes in to help out. Here's Levac now, starting out left side of his own net. Levac moves it off the boards to Tommy Moore, goes by him all the way down the ice. That'll be an icing call against the Massena Red Raiders.
On that power play, the Raiders are just coming with an eyelash. Jeff Bigelow, great work, hit the goalpost dead on. Just dead on, a quarter of an inch either way or to the inside, that would have been in. But hit it flush and bounced in behind Kerry Blanchard, who cleared the rebound. But he had Kerry beaten all the way. And Potsdam came right back on a 3-on-2. It was actually a 3-on-1 because Jake Morris was exhausted out there, and he couldn't get off the ice and almost cashed one the other way.
Sabres line now against the Jackson line. Face off left side in the Massena zone. Off the draw. Puck bounces into the slot, and the puck is just wide, and Doug Cullen sticks it out of the way. Back out to center ice, dumped right back in the zone. It comes to Tommy Post. Post, side of the net now. Starts it out. Flips to McCracken. McCracken can't get it out of the zone. Now it slides out, dumped back in again. Comes in behind the net. Cullen stops it. Flips it around for McCracken. McCracken jamming for it back to the point. Here's a shot deflected. Big save by Cullen. As that shot came from the right point and Chris Hayes, and it was deflected in front, I believe, by Tommy McCabe, and Cullen had to be quick to make save.
It was okay. Mike Saber, but it doesn't make any difference. It was a great deflection, a shot from the point, and Dougie Cullen had to really be sharp to save that one. And the Raiders dodged a bullet. Just before that, Tommy McCabe got loose in front. The Raider defenseman didn't have him tied up, and when you have a face-off in your own end, that defensive responsibility is to tie those guys up in front, and they didn't.
Off the face-off, Bigelow pokes it to the blue line. We have a whistle, and there's going to be another penalty. I believe Potsdam is going to be called for, I don't know what. Tell you the truth, interference.
George Dobbins making a call, and an interference call out here happened right at the blue line on the far side. Sean Putman going to the gate, going to get the gate to Jerry for a minute and a half, and we talked at the top of the show. That's one thing we're going to have problems. Potsdam's going to have problems with if they continue to take foolish penalties and put Massena on the power play because they are really effective.
Massena will send out Jake Morris along with Bigelow and Cameron. LaBarge and Post out there for Potsdam. We've got Putnam. He stays out there along with Stafford Hazen. DePinto is out there, and Grayling. Off the faceoff, puck sits there. Finally, Jake Morris picks it up. He starts back. Here's Morris just dumping it. Around the back of the net it goes, Potsdam zone. Back to the point to Tommy Post. Post circle, flips to LaBarge. LaBarge dumps it in the corner for Cameron, goes by him, goes all the way around to Bigelow. Bigelow being tied up in the corner by Grayling, trying to stay with it. He does. Gets it to Morris in the circle. Morris back to the point. Jason LaBarge. LaBarge to Post. Goes through his legs. Gets it back. Goes to Morris. Back to Post. Post does a good job to keep it in. To Morris. We got a little bit of a mismatch. Morris, give and go. Bigelow trying to go back to Morris. Knocked down by Grayling. And Grayling starts back the other way. Or that's Putnam, I should say. Putnam makes the shift at the blue line and gets the weak shot off. Goes to the side of the net. And he stays with it. Trying to get another shot off. It's knocked down by Post. And it comes back to the blue line and out to center ice. To Grayling. Grayling loses to Bigelow. Bigelow to Morris. Jake steps across. He can't quite control it. And it's dumped down the ice with 30 seconds left in the Massena power play. Here's Tommy Post with it. Post, his headman knocked down by Grayling in front. Or who is that? That's Trick King. King side of the net right in front. And had to make the save there, Dougie Cullen. Now Massena comes back the other way. Here comes Tommy Post to Bigelow. Bigelow takes it in the corner now, trying to center right foot. The shot, big save there as Whitcup got a shot off. Puck comes back to the point and out to center ice. Levac can't stop it. It comes free, and right at the blue line, Potsdam trying to move it into the zone, but it's tied up there. They jam at it, and finally the puck bounces free. It comes to Bobby Whitcup. Penalty is up, so Massena 0 for 2 on the power play. That was Mike Saber doing a good job penalty killing. Potsdam ices the puck, and the faceoff will move back in Sandstoner's zone. 2:06 remaining, first period, and on the Corky's Collision scoreboard, Potsdam leads it on a score of 1-0. Good crowd here tonight.
Nice crowd. We talked about at the top of the show, one of the keys for Massena would be to cut down on the defensive turnovers in their own end, and they have not done that up to this point. The defense has turned the puck over on several occasions, and some quick reaction by Dougie Cullen, and has kept the score 1-0. So they've got to cut down, and Potsdam, as we said, they're a club that takes advantage of every opportunity that you give them.
Face-off left side, a little movement on the face-off.
I mean, if you're going to have a 3-2, that's fine, 2-1, but you cannot afford those, almost like in tennis, unforced errors in your own end.
That's right.
Massena's had several of them so far.
O'Shea again will face off against Bradley. Off the draw, puck sits in the circle. Finally, it's picked up by Talcott. He bounces it out to center ice. Right back is Barkley. Ahead to Whitcup. He steers it in the corner. After it is Talcott for the Sandstoners. Whips it around the boards. Tommy Moore trying to step in front of it. He jams for it along the boards. And it bounces out to center ice, and it's going to go all the way down the ice. And that's going to be another icing call against the Potsdam Sandstoners. 1:42 remaining in the first period. And on the Corky's Collision scoreboard, the Stoners lead it on a score of 1-0.
What happens, as we talked about, the Raiders are holding the weak side wing back, and when Potsdam goes from strong side to weak side, that defenseman, when he gains the puck, if the center's out high, has no one forechecking him. He looks up the strong side, and the Massena wing has got his man covered, so he tries to come up the middle, and that's why you see those long passes. If you hit, you're away on a breakaway. If you miss, you're going to get an icing call.
Jackson will face it off. Off the draw, Jason trying to center it, and it comes back to LaBarge. His shot fires it wide. Puck around the boards for Sean Putnam. Putnam jams one along with Jackson, and he flips it out to center ice. Here comes Bradley after it, but getting back is Jason LaBarge. In the corner, he and Bradley jam. The puck comes free, picked up by Putnam. Putnam side of the net. Nice stick handling, finally poked away by LaBack, just barely. Now flips around. It goes to Kellison. He starts it out from Massena. His headman knocked down. He gets it right back again, looking for a back pass to LaBack. LaBack skates it, flips it to center ice. It comes to Kellison. Kellison takes a shot from just inside the blue line, way wide. After it is Jackson. Jason with a puck now. Backhands it, has it taken away. Comes right back to him at the Massena blue line. Here comes Jackson, busting in on the right wing side. Trying to stick handle. He gets upended. And a good defensive play made by Sean Putnam as he took Jason Jackson off his stride. We're in the final minute of play here in period number 1. Here comes Grayling, building up ahead of steam across the blue line, gets by one. The backhander save made. Colony holds on. And now Grayling and Jackson mix it up. There's going to be a penalty. Jackson for sure, and I don't know if Grayling is going to get anything or not.
Raiders are a little upset because after Grayling made the shot and Dougie Cullen held on, Eric Grayling gave him a little tap with the stick, and the Raider defense took exception to that and gave him a little shot. Coach Joe Stark is out on the ice because Eric Grayling was down, but he just put his hand up and said, "Coach, I'm fine." The Raiders, again, have dodged a short bullet. We talked a second ago, Jerry, about Potsdam hitting that man up the middle, and when you're not pressing that weak side defenseman, he has plenty of time. They almost sent Carl Bradley away on a breakaway, and that's happened 2 or 3 times.
That's right.
So that offside defenseman of Massena has got to make that adjustment. They got to correct that between periods. Either have the center pull back, and if that defenseman's going to pinch over, or have the defenseman be responsible for that guy up the middle. But one or the other.
Matching minors, Grayling will get a slashing call, slashing the goalie, and Jason Jackson will get a hit after the whistle.
And Grayling made a nice move on the Raider defenseman to get in there. The Raider defenseman played the puck like he should never do. Instead of playing the man, he lunged for it, and Grayling went right around him.
Okay, we got 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. Just over 30 seconds remaining. The puck in behind the net. Jake Morris after it. And he comes away with it. A little help from Aaron Barkley. Flips to Jeff Bigelow. Here comes Bigelow, busting down the right wing side. Takes it in on DePinto. Gets a shot off. It's knocked down on the defense. Good defensive play made there by the Sandstoners, and they move it back the other way. Here comes Sean Putnam down the left wing side. He's going to lift it high in the air, back in the Massena zone. Tommy Post after it, overskates it, but Barkley is there to pick it up with 8 seconds left in the period. Headman pass, Bigelow. Jeff starts it, goes for Morris, goes by him. That'll be an icing call on Massena. No, they wave it off, and the buzzer sounds. And the first period will end with the Potsdam Sandstoners holding a 1-0 lead over the Massena Red Raiders. Our broadcast this evening from Pine Street Arena brought to you by the Pub and Pantry Restaurant located just east of Massena on Route 37. Across from the St. Lawrence Center, by Paris Environmental Control Corporation on the Winthrop Road in Massena, qualified to handle all your environmental problems. Give them a call at 769-5900. By Massena Optics, 55 Main Street, Massena, and I Appeal in Potsdam. Be sure to see Al and Mary Kieswetter for all your options.
The control, and also the Raider defenseman should have had Narrow tied up. You cannot be a spectator out there. You know, you've got to really, when you've got the opposition cruising around in front of your net, you've got to make sure that they're either tied up or on the seat of their pants. And that time, neither thing happened, and the Raiders found themselves down a goal. And one other thing, we talked about that adjustment. We won't hit it again on the forechecking. And but one thing I think on the power play, the Raiders had 2 power play advantages. There were 4 penalties, but 2 of them were coincidental. And Potsdam is playing a passive box. But when they come out, on a couple of occasions, the Massena's enticed them out to the blue line, and this is what they want. They want to create that 2-on-1 mismatch down in the corner, basically Jake Morris and Jeff Bigelow. And they had that opportunity, but then they've got to jump in
against Jake Morris as we get ready to go with period number 2. Nothing on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Off the faceoff, it comes to Levac. Levac drops it to Labarge, and Labarge starts it out. Long headman pass knocked down at the blue line by Sean Putnam. He starts back the other way. Across the blue line, he's got his brother with him, trying to slide it through, and hits the side of the net with it, as Cullen didn't even move. Corner, Labarge trying to tie him up. He pokes it away, comes to Morris. Morris feeding Bigelow. Bigelow breaks in the zone after the puck. He and Talcott go together. Talcott takes him out of the play, but Bigelow stays with it. Now Morris picks it up back to the Labarge. His shot, right on, the save made. So Kerry Blanchard has to make the first save of the period. He leaves it. Here's Brian Putnam. His shot knocked down by Levac. He and Putnam go into the corner. Putnam goes down, and Levac loses his glove, and Putnam comes up with a puck. Here's Putnam moving back to the point. Morris trying to take him out of the play. He gets away. Here's a short side shot knocked down by Jason Labarge. Big play by Labarge. And now Labarge starts out as both penalties are up. We're 5-on-5. Labarge ahead, trying to stay with it. They jam for it. He finally pokes it in the zone as Massena makes the line change. Carl Bradley back to pick it up for the Sandstoners. His headman pass knocked down. McCracken drops for Jason Jackson. Jackson in the circle now, left side of the goalie, bouncing around with it, back to the point. Barkley goes to Tommy Post. He tees it up, and it's not just wide by Grayling. Goes off his legs, as a matter of fact. Jason Jackson circles to the face-off circle, gets a shot off. He fires it wide. It comes to McCracken in the corner now. Back to the blue line, trying to slip it through. Jackson, now Kellison goes after it. He can't come up with it. Jackson does in behind the net. There's Jackson dropping it. Back to Barkley at the point. Over to Tommy Post. Post winds up. The shot deflected right in front. That's just wide. And there's going to be a penalty on Grayling as he trips Jason Jackson to the side of the net. And Grayling will go to the penalty box, and Massena will go on the power play.
And Eric Grayling coming to the box, showing a bit of frustration, and he's slamming his stick and shaking his head. You don't want to do that. You don't want to lose your composure. That time, good shift by the Raiders at Jackson line, and what they were doing, which they hadn't been doing except on the power play up to this point, was creating some traffic in front of Kerry Blanchard. Scotty McCracken planked himself in there, and Grayling, who was about a foot taller, could not move mud of there, and he finally had to dump him, and that was the call. But they were creating traffic in front of Kerry Blanchard.
Okay, Massena going out with the Morris line again as Carl Bradley comes out to try to kill it off. Also coming out Chris Hayes and Mike Saber and Safford Hazen. Off the face-off, puck back to the point. Jason Labarge with it. His shot right in front. Bigelow, the shot to save as Jeffrey Bigelow point blank in the corner. And a good shot, but he didn't have much to shoot at.
They got him diagonal, just what they wanted from Jason Labarge to Jeff Bigelow, but he couldn't control it initially. He wanted to one-time it, and that brief second it took him to control it, that allowed the goaltender, Kerry Blanchard, to slide across to his left to block the save.
Okay, Morris will take the face-off again. Off the draw. Comes to Bigelow. Bigelow in the corner. Setting it up now. Goes to Morris at the 45. Left side of the goalie. Jake now stick handling it. Looks to go back to the point. Tommy Post takes it across. Here's Post. Go wind up. His quick wrist shot. Score!
There's that traffic again, and there's the advantage taking that power play. The Raiders worked it back. They got it back to Tommy Post. Potsdam allowed Tommy to move across the ice towards the middle of the ice. He looked, and he fired a shot. There was a lot of traffic in front, and I'm not sure if it hit somebody in front or not, but I know Kerry Blanchard could not see it, and it went in high on his glove side. But the key was that Potsdam sat back. They were worried about Jake Morris and Jeff Bigelow, and a good move by Tommy Post. He moved towards the center of the ice, gave more net, and then he walked right in, and from about, I'd say, 45 feet, blasted one. We'll see the official call, Jerry.
The other thing about it, Dave, is the fact it was not a big wind-up. It was a quick wrist shot, and I think he fooled Blanchard. Here comes Joey Fauché in behind the net. He gets railed into the boards. The puck comes free, picked up there by Brian Putnam, and Putnam breaks it out. We're tied at 1 on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Here comes Putnam. Poked away, following up the shot. The save by Cullen. Rebound comes to Tommy Moore in the corner. Here comes Moore in behind the net now, trying to move it ahead to Whitcup. Goes back to the point, and bouncing around. Was it kept in? Apparently it was. Now it's out to center ice. Richie Scott fires it back in, but Potsdam caught offside, and will have a face-off just outside the Massena zone. But again, Dougie Cullen standing tall for the Raiders.
Great save. Dougie was partially screened, but he picked that one out. A great save, and that goal has brought this crowd, especially the Massena contingent, to their feet. As you mentioned before, we have a packed house here at Pine Street Arena.
I think he just called. Did he call matching Myers? I believe so. And that was a little pushing and shoving after the whistle. And of course, Wayne Humel is very careful to make sure this game does not get out of hand. Okay, Whitcup and Stafford Hazen apparently will be the two penalized players. And Bobby Whitcup is already on the bench. Had no idea, or at least he's acting like he had no idea he was called for anything.
Wayne Humel said 1-5, and that's 15. Bobby, that means you.
Okay, so 4-on-4 again. We've seen that quite a lot here. Here's Jason LaBarge trying to flip it ahead, intercepted by Grayling. Grayling skates it back. He can motor. Here's Grayling into the Massena zone in the corner, trying to get by the defense. In behind the net, he still got it. Here's Grayling now. Looking. He gets ridden into the boards, and he held on to it just a little bit too long. Now they try to get it out of the zone. Kept in at the point by Chris King. He takes it into the corner. And a hard check thrown by Levac. Jason Jackson starts it. Here comes Jackson. Stick handling to center ice. Takes it across the blue line. Poke checked away. Back to the point. Levac shot. Deflected wide into the corner. Jackson after it there. Jason with a puck now. He's ridden into the boards. They jam for it. He and Scott. Jackson trying to stay with it. Little pushing and shoving. Jackson gets knocked down. Gets back up again. Trying to throw a check. Potsdam controls now, stolen away by McCracken. Here's McCracken stepping by a check, centers it right in front, and Blanchard is going to cover it up. Some good forechecking by Massena that time.
Excellent. The adrenaline is flowing. The Raiders have picked the pace up a little bit, and getting back number 27, Eric Grayling. He is Coach Joe Stock has got to say, listen, son, you're wearing that C. It means something. Don't lose your composure out there. He's been running around somewhat unchecked, and it was his penalty that allowed the Raiders to go on the power play that tied it up. And I think Coach Joe Stark should say something to him.
Off the face-off. Comes to Bigelow, back to the point. They move it around. Here's Tommy Post. His shot. Knocked down. Bigelow slides one right on, and Blanchard makes the save.
And again, excuse me, Jerry. Smart move by Kerry Blanchard. The Stoners are coming unglued somewhat, a little bit in their own end, and he wants to have them regain their composure, so he's holding on for a face-off. That tying goal, Tommy Post from Jeff Bigelow and Jake Morris at the 2:08 mark.
Off the face-off, Morris wins the draw, but he's bodied out of the play, and DePinto picks it up. Headman of Putnam goes by, and Post takes it at the blue line. Post headman pass, Jake Morris. Morris circles now, looking to get Massena going here. Here's Morris dropping it to Tommy Post. Across the red line, he dumps it in the Potsdam zone. 10 seconds left in the matching minors. Here's Talcott. Morris takes him into the boards, and Talcott looks like he wants to tie it up. Of course, you can't do that, or it's a penalty. Now the puck comes free to DePinto. Left side of goaltender Kerry Blanchard. Penalties are up. We're back to 5-on-5 plus the goalies. Here comes the Sandstoners. DePinto to center ice. He just sticks it into the Massena zone. He takes a shot at Whitcup, and oh boy, the crowd saw it. Everybody saw it but the referee. Here's Whitcup. He gets knocked down again. And finally, the puck backhanded by Bigelow in the Potsdam zone. Now we're going to have a whistle. And they're going to call it finally.
Well, I'll tell you, the Stoners would have dodged the bullet because they're not calling the one on DePinto. They're calling a trip later on, but he slashed Bobby Whitcup right at the back and right in front of the official. I don't know how he missed it, but sometimes they even things up. So possibly he got away. DePinto got away with one earlier. I'm not sure who's going to the box.
Richie's going to be the penalized. Whitcup, the recipient of both of them, too.
Okay. Well, young Joey DePinto, he's a good hockey player, but one of the things that they've got to channel his energy to, to be a little more disciplined and stay out of that penalty box. And because you certainly can't help your club there.
Fauché, McCracken out there, and we've got Aaron Barkley up on the wing. This is that other power play combination. Levac playing 1 point from Massena, along with Jason Jackson. Here's Levac with a puck. He's going to wind up the shot. Save, rebound. Barkley, and he just missed. It comes to Jason Jackson. He flips it in behind the net. That's why you got that big guy Barkley side of the net, and he almost got it. Here's Fauché with it in the corner. Drops it back. Jason Jackson at the point. Here's Jackson. Back to Fauché. Fauché winds. His shot. The save. The rebound. McCracken bangs at it. Goes into the corner. McCracken flips it around on the other side, and Potsdam picks it up. And it's out to center ice, Chad Nero. Nero gets by a check, circles back to his own blue line, just ragging the puck, finally dumps it in the Massena zone. Jason Jackson in behind his own net, picks up the loose puck. Here's Jackson. Takes the Fauché, who's going to keep it himself. Now he goes ahead to Levac. Levac's headman knocked down by Fauché. Back the other way comes Potsdam. Into the zone. Here's Chad Nero. Nero breaks by the defense. Here's the shot. Just wide. McCracken now gets ridden into the boards. Jackson can't come up with a puck. It's dumped into the corner, and we're down to 30 seconds in the power play. Headman goes to Barkley. Barkley moves from McCracken. Scotty takes it in the zone. He stops. He winds. Takes the shot. Late, waiting for the setup. McCracken, good heads-up play there. McCracken into the circle. Drops it in behind the net for Barkley. Barkley in the corner now. Back to McCracken. Has it taken away by Grayling. Back to Barkley. Grayling and Barkley jam. And the puck's sitting there. Finally, Grayling comes away with it. And he's going to wind up and dump it down the ice. And that's going to take care of the power play right there. So Massena again coming close, but they come up short. Here comes Jason Jackson, stick handling it to center ice, trying to kick it ahead. Knocked away from him, comes back to Levac. Levac in his own end. Bounce pass, knocked down, but Bigelow is back to knock it into the corner. He and Hazen jam for it. The puck comes free to Putnam. He dumps it in behind the net. Jake Morris steals it away, though. Here's Morris, beating around the boards for Chris Cameron. Cameron steps by a check, goes to Morris. Morris breaks with Bigelow. Across the blue line, Bigelow. Bigelow, this shot. Big glove save by Kerry Blanchard. Great glove save by Kerry Blanchard, and a great 2-on-1 by Bigelow and Morris, but Kerry Blanchard equal to the task. But I've got to say something about that 21 for Potsdam out there. He's my type of hockey player. He's the coach's dream. I'll tell you, he's looks like a whirling derby sometimes, but he gives you 20%. Number 21, Chad Nero, he was instrumental out killing that penalty. He was out there the whole minute and a half, back to about a minute 40, and was a thorn in Massena's side. Off the face-off, we're tied at 1, right in front, and just wide by Bigelow. Bigelow picks up the loose puck, bouncing it. Back to LaBarge at the point. His shot knocked down in front. It's bounced back to the blue line. Kept in by Post. Post dumps to an open wing. Bigelow comes back for it. Trying to slide it into the crease, but Joe DePinto is there. Here's DePinto out to center ice, and he's going to dump it. That'll be an icing call against Potsdam. And, oh, boy, Massena came so close again. 8:05 remaining in period number 2 on the Ball Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. We're tied at 1.
Oh, so close is right. I think it was number 8, Stafford Hazen, was the goaltender on one of those drives, Jerry. Wide open net, and Stafford put his body to good use, and he plucked it right out of the air. Good job by number 8, Stafford Hazen. There was a big pod in front of that Kerry Blanchard. The Stoners broke down a little bit, and they backed in. A lot of traffic, and Stafford Hazen made the save.
O'Shea's line out now against the Mike Saber line. Face off left side in the Potsdam zone. Comes back to LaBarge off the draw. He steps by a check, trying to slide it through the middle, but it's knocked down and out to center ice. Now Whitcup steals the puck, takes it back across. There's Whitcup now ridden into the boards, trying to stay with it. He kicks it in behind, but it's taken by Grayling. Grayling gets right by Fauché's check and breaks it back the other way. Here comes Grayling into the Massena zone. Levac staying with him, rubs him into the board, and the puck comes free. Here's Whitcup with it, flipping ahead for Fauché. He pokes it, bounced around, and Richie Scott dumps it back in the Massena zone. Stopped by Cohen in behind the net. LaBarge bouncing, gets knocked down. The puck comes to Levac. Levac along the boards for Tommy Moore. Moore starts it out for Massena. Headman pass goes to Whitcup. Whitcup trying to stay with it. It's poked away and back the other way. It's going to be an icing call against Potsdam.
The Raiders certainly did make adjustments, as we talked about, Jerry, because this is a different hockey period to a 7:18 left. Its score is 1-1, but Massena looks much more effective this period, and the Stoners look somewhat undisciplined, I would say, this period, and they can't afford to take foolish penalties against Massena.
Faceoff will be in the Potsdam zone after the icing to the left side of goaltender Kerry Blanchard. And we've got the Jason Jackson line out there. Jackson out there with Kellison and McCracken. They'll face off against Brian Putnam, or is that Carl Bradley? That's Bradley out there. Off the face, back to the point. It comes to Kellison now from Tommy Post. He's rubbed out of the play. Talcott picks it up, flips it around the boards, kept in. Barkley, does he know he can't keep it in? Here comes Bradley picking up the loose puck, breaking it on Post. His shot goes wide, as I think Tommy Post got a piece of it. Around the boards now, kept in at the point, dumped back into the corner there by Chris King. Stopped behind the net by Cohen. Cohen leaves it for Tommy Post. We got a whistle, and I think we got another penalty. No, we don't have the whistle yet. It's a delay call. And Massena continues to control. And I don't think Dougie Cohen realizes, and now Potsdam will touch the puck, and the whistle will blow. And that's going to be an interference call. That happened way behind the play.
Yeah, I think he's going to call it when he ran into the Massena goaltender, the Potsdam forechecker. We'll see who's going to go to the pick up the number right now. Wayne Umel is coming to the box. He's going to call interference, but I'm sure it was against when they ran into Dougie Cohen. Dougie went in behind to clear the puck, and as he was returning to his crease, the Potsdam hockey player, number 6, Carl Bradley, interfered with him, and the official right there. And these penalties, Carl Bradley wears the C, Eric Grayling wears the C. Those are penalties you cannot take. Those are really foolish penalties. As we said before, you give Massena an opportunity in the power play, you're asking for trouble.
Okay, we've got Brian Putnam out to kill. The Jake Morris penalty unit, or power play unit, I should say, is out for Massena. Also out there to try to kill is Sean Putnam. And Joe DePinto at one point, Eric Grayling at the other point. It comes to Bigelow. He takes it across. Bigelow and DePinto go together. Morris trying to follow up. It comes back to Bigelow. Goes back to Labarge at the point. Over to Tommy Post. Post in the corner. Jake Morris back to Post. Post winds. His shot deflected right on. The save made. Brian Putnam picks up the loose puck, and he just picks it out to center ice. Jake Morris takes it off his stick. Here comes Morris circling back. Headman goes to Bigelow. Bigelow takes the bounce pass off the boards into the corner. Leaves for Morris in the circle. Massena setting up the power play. Morris takes the shot. Ooh, that wasn't too much too wide. And the puck comes back to Labarge at the point. He dumps it to Chris Cameron. Cameron flips it around the boards for Jake Morris at the 45, left side of the goalie. Back to the point. Tommy Post takes it to the middle. Post takes the shot, goes to Jason Labarge. His drive knocked down by a sprawling Sandstoner. And the faceoff will come in the circle to the right of goaltender Kerry Blanchard.
That time when the Raiders drifted it from the point on both occasions that they got the shot through. The one thing they didn't do, they didn't create that traffic. Potsdam was very effective keeping the Massena forwards away from Kerry Blanchard, and you can shoot him all day from the blue line. Unless you screen that youngster, he's going to pick him right out of the air. So got to create that traffic in front.
Faceoff will come to the right of Blanchard. Now Potsdam making some changes on the penalty killers. Talcott coming out there along with Chris Hayes. And let's see here. Who's going to take? Stafford Hazen will take the faceoff. Off the draw. The puck controlled by Jeff Bigelow. Bigelow drops it to Jason Labarge. 27 seconds left in the power play. Labarge cross-ice pass to Post. Post on the 45, goes into Morris. Gets it back again. Here's Post. Cruising to Morris. Morris to Bigelow. Bigelow right in front. And Cameron can't get the stick on it. And Cameron takes it in the corner now. Flips in behind. Cameron, or Jason Labarge rather, trying to bounce it up in front. It's dumped back to the blue line and out to center ice. And again, oh, so close for the Massena Red Raiders. Here comes Tommy Post, stepping by some traffic, takes it across, trying to flip it through, and Cameron looking to move it into the corner. It goes to Talcott. The penalty is up, and Talcott flips it to the other corner, and it bounces around. It goes to Chris Cameron. Cameron steps by a check, looks to center, goes all the way back. Tommy Post on the fly. It's high and wide. Bouncing puck to Bigelow. Bigelow trying to drop it back to the point. Kept in by Levac. Levac whacks at it, but comes out to center ice. Dumps to the Massena blue line. And into the zone it comes. It comes to Tommy Post. Post just flips it ahead for Jake Morris. And Morris starts back the other way. This continues to be out there for a long time, David. Here's Morris across the blue line now. Steps by a check. The puck gets away from him. Cameron trying to follow back to the point. Here's Levac, a shot, the save made, and holding on is Terry Blanchard.
Too long, Jerry, to finish that. As you said, they had been out there a long time, too long. You're not doing yourself any good or your team when you're out there tired. You got to get that line changed.
1-1 tie game here. Potsdam and Massena. Potsdam scored in the first period. Massena in the second on the power play on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. 4:13 left in the second period. Again, a 1-1 tie. Face-off right side in the Potsdam zone. Whistles on the face-off. Somebody moved, they'll do it again. Poche out there to draw against Mike Saber.
We talked about the penalties in this period. The Sandstoners have picked up 4 to Massena's 1, Jerry, and that's an awful imbalance.
Face-off again, right side, off the draw, goes back to the point, but nobody there, and it slides out to the Massena blue line. Brian Levac. Levac looking ahead, man. It goes all the way to Grayling at his own blue line for Potsdam. Grayling now. His headman pass just directed into the Massena zone. Todd Manning is out for the first time tonight. He's got the puck. Here's Manning, stick handling behind his own net, has it poked away, trying to stay with it. And he starts back the other side. He almost loses it, but gets it ahead to Poche. Here comes Joey, stick handling it. Gets by one. The puck taken away, though, by Grayling. Bounces it back down the ice, but that's going to be right on. So no icing call. This Cullen has to make the stop. Here comes Levac. Backhand around the board, stepping in front of it. Here's an opportunity right in front, but Whitcup is there to break it up. And headman to Tommy Moore. Moore slides it out to center ice. Todd Manning is going to follow. Here's Manning dumping it. Oops, it jumped over the boards and off the ice surface. We'll have a face-off just outside Potsdam territory. 3:21 left in period number 2, and it's tied at 1 on the Bob Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
As Todd went to dump that in the corner, he cuts the edge a little fine. He almost took Scotty McCracken, who was at the end of the Raider bench, right on the shoulder blade. But
Jackson out there now against Bradley. Bradley with Chris King and Chad Narrow on his wing. Off the face-off. It comes to Aaron Barkley at the Massena line. Barkley trying to feed Post. Post lost in his skate. It comes free in front. Here's an opportunity. Post checked away. Barkley makes a great play. The puck comes to Chad Narrow. He stays with it in the corner. Barkley takes it away. Feeds to McCracken, and Scotty starts it back the other way. Looking for the long head man. Knocked down by Joey DePinto at the blue line. Here's Tommy Post with it. Post. Bounce pass ahead to Kellison. Kellison trying to feed it. It goes to McCracken, but he's got to wait for Jackson to get onside. Now he gets it. Takes it. Dumps it. Oops. Back the other way comes Potsdam as Talcott broke up the play. Here's Talcott backhanding it up into the Potsdam bench, and the face-off will come out near the Potsdam blue line.
It's really visible from our vantage spot, and I'm sure from any vantage spot in the house, how the Sandstoners have sagged somewhat this period, Jerry. And again, you're killing. You gave Massena 3 power play advantages. You've got a lot of your skilled players out there killing those penalties off. You're running yourself right into the ground when you take those foolish penalties, and I would consider 3 out of the 4 bad penalties on Potsdam.
Off the face-off, the puck bounces into the Massena zone. Here's Brian Putnam. Swept away, goes to the side of the net, and Jackson picks it up. Jason Jackson steps by a check. Jackson's headman goes by Kellison, bounces away from him. Hazen loses to Jackson. Jackson overskates, comes to Tommy Post. He dumps it back in the zone. Here's Grayling. Grayling skates it to center ice for Potsdam. He's going to dump into the Massena zone. Bounces in behind the net. Comes to Tommy Post. Post has it poke checked away. Stafford Hazen. His centering pass knocked down by McCracken. Feeding it. Kellison. Kellison gets tied up by Richie Scott. No, that's Chris Hayes. And he dumps it back in the Massena zone, and icing will be the call on Potsdam. With 1:59 left in the second period on the Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, we're tied at 1.
This is a somewhat new combination. It's only been together the last couple games, that Jason Jackson, Scotty McCracken, and Freddie Kellison combination. And they were pretty effective up in Seton. I don't know what the totals were, but I know Jason Jackson has a hat trick.
Jake Morris's line out there now against Carl Bradley. Off the face, Morris trying to get the shot off. He can't. And Potsdam back the other way. Comes to Brian Levac at the Massena line. He steps across the red line, dumps it right back in Sandstoner territory. Joe DePinto is there and behind the net, sweeping it around the boards. Comes back to LaBarge at the point. His shot knocked down. And back the other way, here comes Carl Bradley. Bradley shot. Save made by Cullen. Picked up by Levac. Levac jams for it. Has it taken away. Goes to the side of the net, and Jake Morris flips it ahead for Bigelow. Bigelow and Morris jam for it. Puck kicks free. It's still in the corner. Now LaBarge throws the check as it comes around to the other side. Chris Cameron, after he can't control it, is Chad Narrow in there. LeBac takes him out of the play, and finally Jake Morris comes up with it. Here comes Morris. Head man to Bigelow. Bigelow across the blue line. Bigelow's shot knocked down. Goes in behind the net. Jake Morris after it. Shovels it for Cameron. Goes by him. And back on the other side is Richie Scott. The backhand. Chad Narrow just lets it go by. It slides all the way back to the Massena line. We got another penalty, this time on the Raiders. And Potsdam will go on the power play as Tommy Post picks up a penalty.
No question. Yeah, no question. Tommy Post came from the side right where we are, right in front of the Raider bench, all the way across the ice to nail the Potsdam player. And there's no question that was charging. I was watching Dougie Cullen down here on the giveaway just prior to that. Carl Bradley took it away from the Raider defenseman and skated down the left side, and he unleashed a wicked shot. I thought it caught Dougie high on the chest. I know it did, and I was worried that it might have caught him in the throat, but he's okay. He made a great save on it, but that was a near miss by the Sandstoners.
56 seconds left in the second period. 1-1 tie game on the Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. O'Shea out there with McCracken to try to kill Putnam, centering the power play unit. Comes in behind the net. Barkley, he can't come up with it. Bounces free. In behind, here's Bradley with it. Flips to the 45. Putnam moving it back to the point. DePinto, he winds. His shot knocked down in front. McCracken, and he just dumps it to the open wing as DePinto kind of was indecisive, and he didn't get a good shot on. Now the puck in behind the net. Around the boards it comes. Here's Carl Bradley with it, trying to center it, knocked down in front. O'Shea bounces it, gets it out to center ice. Just barely, but it's out there. He stays after it. Now the puck taken away. Sean Putnam back the other way into the Massena zone. Knocked down. Here's Stafford Hazen. Hazen circles the net. Looking to pass back to DePinto. DePinto feeding it with 10 seconds left. It goes back to the other point. Grayling, he winds. His shot knocked down in front. They jam at it. Backhander right in the slot. Where is it? It's underneath somebody from the field, and they flip it out to center ice. So the second period ends as Massena weathers all but 34 seconds of the Potsdam power play, and it ends with a 1-1 tie hockey game.
It ends not too soon for the Raiders because the Sandstoners were really buzzing around. That was their first power play in 2 periods. The Raiders been going on the power play most of the evening, but the Stoners almost cashed one in with about 5 seconds. Big Eric Grayling unleashed a bullet from the point, and I don't know how Dougie Cullen saw it because I certainly couldn't see it from up here, but he was Timmons. The Raiders are ranked in the 8th spot, and in 9th spot again also at a Section 6, St. Joe's out of Buffalo.
Now those two teams, Bishop Timon and St. Joe's, do not participate in the state playoffs, and that's kind of interesting. They're always ranked up there, but when it comes time, they're in a Catholic school league. They do not participate. In 10th spot, there's a tie, and this is interesting because we saw both these teams down in the Albany Academy tournament, Rome Free Academy, and Suffern. Rome Free head and shoulders above Suffern, no doubt about it.
On the night that we saw them, or the weekend that we saw them, I completely agree with you. And I think earlier in the season, those two clubs went head-to-head down in Suffern, and
Suffern, I think, won in overtime.
Yeah, well, strange things. But the weekend that we were down in Albany, you and I both concur that Albany, that Rome club, they were impressive. They finished 3rd, but they conceivably could have been the best team at that tournament on that weekend. Over on Division 2, why don't you pick those top 3 teams?
Salmon River is on top. It's nobody's great supplies. They're off to, 11-1 start or something. They're just flying at Salmon River, and they've beaten everybody except the Division 1 team, Whitesboro. In second place, Clinton, which was the host team. They ended up winning that. Whitesboro won the tournament, beating Clinton, but they've all. It comes to LaBarge. He circles back into his own end and flips it out to center ice. Picked up and dumped right back into the Massena line. LaBarge picks it up. Comes to Richie Scott. Back to LaBarge. LaBarge has it poked away, but Jake Morris was there to pick up the loose puck. Here's Morris whacking it around the boards. Grayling can't keep it in. And it whistles all the way down the ice with 10 seconds left in the power play. Here's Richie Scott. Potsdam zone. Trying to move it out to center ice. Here's Scott's going to shoot it from the blue line. And Dougie Cullen makes the save. The penalty is up. LeVac doesn't realize that, but it goes off Cameron. We got a whistle. What did he call?
I'm not sure. But Richie Scott drifted up over center ice and about 10 feet outside the blue line, he really waxed one, and Dougie Cullen had a little trouble with it. Whether he lost it up in the lights, it caught him high up on the chest, but Richie Scott unleashed a pretty tough shot.
I don't know what he called.
I'm not sure either, but
anyway, the penalty is up. It'll be Putnam facing off against Jake Morris. Face off Massena zone. Bouncing puck. Putnam gets a backhander, hits the side of the net. And Cullen flips it into the corner, comes around the boards. Chris Cameron. Backhand pass Morris. Jake starts it out. Across the blue line. Whistle. Oh, big glove save. It was not a save as it turns out because Massena was called for the offside, but Blanchard made what would have been a great save.
Oh, I'll tell you, I guess so. The Potsdam defense backed in somewhat and allowed Jake Morris to gain the zone, and he used them both as a screen, and from about 45 feet, he uncorked a bullet, and Kerry Blanchard just up with the left hand and just plucked it out of the air.
That's as we've seen this year.
Fantastic.
Off the face-off, Tommy Post dumps in the Sandstoner end. Back to the blue line, out to center ice. Comes to Aaron Barkley. Barkley feeds McCracken at the red line. McCracken, headman pass meant for Jackson, gets by him. DePinto flips it out again. Now here comes Putnam into the Massena zone and has it swept checked away by Aaron Barkley. Now Putnam goes down in the corner. They jam for it. Stafford Hazen falls on top of it. Puck kicks free. Jason Jackson finally controls the loose puck. Stick handles in front of his own end. Starts it out now. Headman pass. Kellison right back, but it's a little bit too far and comes back the other way for Stafford Hazen. Hazen's shot. Cullen makes the pad save, goes into the corner. Tommy Post trying to flip it around. Hazen steals. Jackson takes it off his stick. Poke checked away. Comes to Aaron Barkley. Barkley headman to Kellison. He just directs it down into Potsdam zone. Kerry Blanchard trying to flip it back to center ice. You're going to have an offsides on Massena as it was dumped right back in. And with 13:15 left in the third period, the Peach Jewelers scoreboard says 1-1.
The Raider defenseman had pinched down, and Freddie Kellison was filling for him on the right side, and just with a half stride, slow getting there, and the puck that came out and back in, but Wayne Umel right on the spot. Good call.
Saber and Fauché will face off now. Off the draw, the puck slides in the Potsdam zone, controlled by Grayling, and we have a whistle. I think we're going to have matching minors again. Bobby Whitcup, for one, will be going off. Who is that, McCabe or who?
Like number 18, number 16. No, they don't have a 16.
Okay. I think I've got a roster sheet here. You give me a moment, I'll pick it out. Number 16, that is David Grant.
Okay, right. He wears 7 on the...
There we go. That's what my problem is. Grant wears 7 on the road, but 16 at home.
Okay. I wonder I couldn't find him.
That's Grant getting the draw, getting the call along with Whitcup. So we're 4-on-4 again. Levac flips it ahead for Tommy Moore. He takes it in the zone, flips it in the corner. Grayling back for it. 13 minutes left in the third period. Tied at 1. The puck takes a funny bounce to Fauché. Can't get the shot off. Trying to stay with it more after, but it's poked by him out to center ice. Jason Labarge lifts it back in the Potsdam zone. Back there to pick it up is Hayes for Potsdam. Trying to flip it around the boards. Intercepted Fauché at the blue line. Fauché trying to step by Carl Bradley. Fauché has Grayling take it away. Gets it back again. Back to the point. Levac takes the shot. Flips it through. Gets it back again. Winds a quick shot. Just wide. And a little bit high. And back comes Potsdam the other way. They move it into the Massena zone. And just dump it. That's Chris King. Goes in behind the Massena net. King trying to follow it himself. Goes back to Grayling at the point. He dumps it back into the corner. Around on the right side now of Dougie Cullen. The puck comes free. Levac looking to move it out. Now Fauché trying to help out. Levac kicks it. They jam for it. King and Levac, it kicks out to the blue line. And Hayes keeps it in. Flips it into the corner. Massena zone. Now it's Jason Labarge with it. Labarge flips it over to Levac. And Levac is going to start out right side. There's Levac. Headman pass goes to center ice. Hayes is there. Circling. Comes back the other way. Here comes Hayes. Flips it into the Massena zone. Cullen has to make a save. We're down to 6 seconds in the matching minors. Labarge now loses to Putnam, and Putnam couldn't find it and escape. Labarge trying to get back. Putnam controls into the slot. The puck comes free. We got a penalty, and it's going to go against Massena. Potsdam gets their goalie off, and Massena touches the puck.
It is a penalty, and you go back and track it back. What caused it? It was the giveaway that the Raider defensemen have, and they had to, Potsdam started putting on the pressure, and Massena had to retaliate, and he clutched the Potsdam player, and Wayne Umel made the call. And
Jason Labarge is the penalized player, so Massena will have to kill another one here with 11:33 left in the third period. We're all tied at 1 on the Peach Jewelers scoreboard.
You can tell both clubs a little tentative right here. Less than 15 minutes of hockey, 1-1. They don't want to make that big mistake out there, so they're kind of almost like a couple of boxers early on in a match, fending each other off, feeling each other out a little bit.
Here comes Potsdam across the blue line. Chad Nero. Nero has it taken off his stick. Tommy Post after it in the corner. Shovels it along the boards. Bradley can't control. Oh, boy. He got Morris, knocked him down. No whistle. And the puck dumps in behind the net. Ooh, crowd really yelling. Here's Levac now, flipping it along the boards. Grayling looks to keep it in. Bigelow trying to stay on him, and he flips it out to center ice. Now Bradley will dump it back in the Massena zone. Tommy Post looks for the hole and finds it, and down the ice it goes. In fact, Blanchard has to make a save on it. Now he flips it ahead out to center ice. It comes in back in the Potsdam zone. Circling back is Chad Nero. He finally goes to Grayling. Grayling's headman pass. Here comes Bradley across the blue line. Bradley, drop pass, goes right on Cullen. He'll hold on for the faceoff.
Good job by the Raider defenseman, Aaron Barkley. The Sandstoners tried a little give and go that time. The weak side wing busting to the net, but Aaron Barkley did his job, stayed right with him, had him tied up. And the puck came in front of the crease, and he just let Dougie Cullen cover it up. But he had the Potsdam player all tied up.
Faceoff will be the right side of Cullen in the Massena zone. Joey Fauché out with McCracken now to try to kill it as Brian Putnam comes out to face it off for Potsdam. Putnam with Hazen and Sean Putnam. Grayling playing 1 point along with DePinto. Off the faceoff, Tommy Post drops it, but picking it up is Brian Putnam. Putnam goes back to the point. DePinto winds his drive, and it goes wide. Putnam after it in the corner again. Back to DePinto at the point. Here's DePinto now the give and go. It's intercepted. It comes to McCracken as Fauché got a stick on it. Good job by Joey Fauché to read that play and break it up. It's back in the Potsdam end. Joe DePinto after it. DePinto starts out right side of his own net. Flips it ahead. Out to center ice. Here comes Grayling. Grayling's got Fauché on him. Fauché kind of knocks him down, and Grayling sits on it. And they're going to face it off outside. I think they called the offside on it.
Number 7, Joey Fauché, 5'6", 135 pounds. He took 2 Potsdam players out of the play. 2 of them, not 1, but 2.
5 seconds left in the penalty. And 10:08 left in the third period. On the Pete scoreboard, it's 1-1.
The combinations of Jake Morris, Jeff Bigelow, and Joey Fauché and Scotty McCracken do an excellent job killing penalties, along with the entire Raider defense.
Okay, face-off will be, of course, outside with 5 seconds left in the power play. Morris to take the draw against Carl Bradley. Off the face-off, Jake flips it to Bigelow. Here comes Jeff. Going by the defense, he's going to break in. Shot more! A great individual effort. That's all we can say. Listen to this crowd. A great individual effort. It started off as a harmless play. It was a face-off outside the Massena blue line. And Jeff Bigelow just picked up that puck and raced down the ice, and he went around number 10, Richie Scott, like he was standing still. The other Potsdam defenseman came over, but he fended him off and fired a low shot to the left of Kerry Blanchard. A great individual effort, and that's leadership. And I'll tell you, all the Raiders are high-fiving him over there. The bench is standing up. That's a big one. What a great individual effort. That's an easy one to call. Bigelow from Morris. Oh, I'll tell you, but it started off so harmless. I'm sure it just shocked the Potsdam fans. So Massena has taken the lead 2-1 here. A lot of hockey left to play, though. Off the face-off, Kellison dumps it into the Potsdam zone. Brian Putnam back to pick it up. Just under 10 minutes. Here comes Putnam. He can motor with it. Breaking down the right wing side. Takes it across. Brian Levac takes him out of the play. Are they going to call a penalty? They're going to call a holding call on Levac. Oh, boy. I agree with you, Jerry. I agree. That's from our angle. We and I both know it wasn't holding. Maybe the referee got blocked out, but the near side referee didn't call it. It was the one across the way, and he was screened out, and it was a great defensive play by Brian Levac. He played the man, as you mentioned. Brian Putnam just blew down that right side. It was coming about 90 miles an hour, and Brian Levac couldn't play it any better. But again, the man in the striped shirt, he's got the final say, and the Raiders are going to spend a minute and a half in a penalty box. So Massena out to try to kill it off. Bradley out there again with Chad Narrow and Chris King. Face off left side of the Massena zone. Jake Morris will take the face off. Off the draw, puck sits in the circle. Morris gets a piece of it to the blue line. Here comes Bigelow again. Bigelow breaks down the right wing side. Here's Bigelow, stops, gets by one, gets knocked down. And again, no whistle. And the puck picked up by the Potsdam Sandstoners. Crowd making a little noise here as Potsdam does be called for icing as they dump the puck down the ice.
And you said the crowd, I can't even hardly hear you, and I'm standing right next to the crowd. Is really incensed. It came back the other way. A great individual effort again by Jeff Bigelow, and went by the Potsdam defender, and he just had his skates taken out from under him. No call. So Stoners call for icing. We've got 9:22 left in the. They haven't, Jerry, if you notice, they haven't rang up the second score on the scoreboard. It's still 1-1 up there, but you and I both know it's 2-1.
Face off left side in the Potsdam zone. Jake Morris to take the draw. He wins the face off, but he can't get a shot off as it slides out to center ice. Dumped back in the zone by Tommy Post. In behind the net now. The puck picked up by Bradley. 58 seconds left in the power play. Massena leads at 2-1 on the Pete scoreboard here. We're in the third period. Here's Grayling. He just dumps it in the Massena zone. Around the boards it comes for Hazen, trying to go to the side of the net. Poked away. Jason LaBarge, he loses it. And it's picked up there by Sean Putnam. Putnam looking into the circle, trying to slide it through the middle. Here's Brian Putnam, the shot. The save goes to the front of the net, and it goes into the corner. Good job by Tommy Post to clear the zone in front. Here's Post with it in the corner, gets tied up, trying to slide it along. It comes back to Putnam. Putnam back to the point. Bradley, his shot goes wide. Puck bounces along the boards. Grayling with it, and it goes up over the puck boards and off the ice surface with 17 seconds remaining. Good job by Tommy Post to clear that area in front of the net.
Excellent job, Tommy Post and Jason LaBarge, both doing yeoman work in front. They had about 3 Potsdam players, and the Sandstoners were really buzzing around that net. Excellent job by that pair of Raider defensemen. And they're staying out there. And along here comes the as a 7-11 combination to replace Bigelow and Morris.
Off the face-off, it comes to Tommy Post. About 19 seconds left in the power play. Post fires it up into the crowd. That puck rode along the dasher board and just skipped up over the glass, so we'll face it off again in the Massena zone. 12 seconds left in the power play.
And they finally punched that second score up on the scoreboard.
Apparently, it was deflected by Potsdam because they moved the face-off outside. That's a break for the Raiders.
Yes, it is.
O'Shea will take the draw against, I believe that's Saber. Off the face-off, it comes to Tommy Post. Post looks, flips it, back to the blue line, kept in at the point nicely by Scott. His shot deflected into the corner. Picked up there by Saber. Back to the point, Scott again. He winds through traffic. Save made in a big one by Massena. And it goes down the ice. That'll be an icing call against the Raiders. And I think that touched somebody on the bench as it was going by, didn't it?
Yes, you're exactly right, Jerry. It did touch somebody on the bench. That might have been Jeff Bigelow. Got him on the left hand, but Wayne Umel is calling an icing. And you mentioned the save just a second ago. Great save by Dougie Cullen. Shot came from the point. Richie Scott did it. Deflected, went to Dougie's left, and somehow he kicked out that left leg and just got the toe on it. Great save by Dougie Cullen.
Now Jason Jackson finally getting out there. He hasn't had much ice time this third period because Massena's been killing penalties. Off the face-off, he wins it. Starts out behind his own net. Here comes Jackson. Head-man pass. And Kellison can't stay, or he tries to stay with it, but he's upended. Bradley gets it back out to center ice. Here's a check thrown there by Tommy Post. Kellison comes back for it. Looking for McCracken. Takes a funny bounce off somebody, but McCracken stays with it. Trying to get by the check. Here's Jason Jackson looking in the corner. Trying to take it, he does. Slides it to McCracken. Here's Jackson. Jackson gets it back. Flips it to the open corner, and Joe DePinto will be there. 7.5 left to play in the third period. Massena leads 2-1 on the Pete scoreboard. Here comes McCracken with a steal in front. He's upended, and Blanchard out of his net to jump on it as Kellison was trying to come across, but the Potsdam defenseman did a great job to tie him up. I think that was DePinto, wasn't it?
No, it was Reggie Scott. Richie Scott,
okay.
Jerry, you said a great job. He tied him up, and the other Potsdam defenseman had Jason Jackson tied up, and so Terry Blanchard came out and dove on his stomach to smother the puck. Good job by the Potsdam defense.
Face off right side in the Potsdam zone. Morris is lined back out. In the corner it comes. And after this, Cameron He gets tied up and finally coming away with his Sean Putnam. And Cameron gets it back, but Putnam takes it. Takes it right in front of his own net, but he motors it and kind of overskates. Has to come back. Bigelow is there to pick it up. He gets upended, and the puck goes into the corner. Talcott picks it up, flips it around the boards. Here's Cameron right in front. Morris. Jay can't get the shot off. Good defensive play made by Talcott to break that play up, and the puck comes free in the corner again. In behind the net now. Cameron goes after, trying to dig with it. He has it poked away. Grayling's pass intercepted Bigelow. Bigelow at the 45 can't come up with it. It comes to the blue line, but not out. Here's Cameron stepping by a check, steps by another. Here's Cameron, gets the shot right across the goal mouth. It bounces back to Levac. His drive, and the save made. It may have been a little wide. Puck in behind the net now. Grayling, but coming up with it is Bigelow. Jeffrey gets tied up, trying to come up with it. The puck comes free finally to Grayling, and he starts it, lifts it, and hits the light. And they'll come back in the Potsdam zone, and we'll have a face-off to the left side of Blanchard, I believe, with 6:22 left in the third period. The Raiders lead it 2-1 on the Peach Jewelers scoreboard. I think Jeff Bigelow and the defenseman back there got tied up. Their equipment got tied up together, and Wayne Humel is trying to straighten things out back there.
What happens, their helmet got, in fact, Jeff Bigelow's helmet is attached to the Potsdam players. Jeff had to come out of his helmet. I think it might be number 3, Kevin Talcott. Anyway, I think the wire mesh of their cages got entwined, Jerry, and the referee had to do it. No, it wasn't Kevin Talcott. It's the young man right, let's see, what number is this right here? Number 5.
He wasn't big enough to be Kevin Talcott.
Sean Putnam. Great forechecking shift by Jake Morris, Jeff Bigelow, and Chris Cameron, Jerry. They excellent job that they had Potsdam penned up that time.
O'Shea's line against the Bradley line. Now face off left side. Off the draw, puck goes in the corner. Picking it up is Joe DePinto. DePinto starts out. Oh, he loses it right in front, but O'Shea couldn't find the handle, and the puck bounces out to center ice. Here's Aaron Barkley with it. Steps across the red line. Dumps right back in the Potsdam zone. 6 minutes to play in the third period. DePinto again. Stick handling it. This time by the forecheck by Whitcup. He dumps it. Comes to the Massena line. Barkley. Bounce pass ahead. Bradley takes it into the Massena zone. Slides one. Doesn't get through as Tommy Post knocks it down. Here's Post with it. Moving it. He doesn't see Whitcup, and he loses the puck. Bouncing puck comes to the blue line. Post gets it back again. This time he's going to take it out to center ice. Here comes Post across the blue line. Dipsy Doodle has it taken away. Poke check by Moore following up. Here comes Tommy Moore. Side of the net. Centering pass. Goes to Fauché. He whacks at it, but Whitcup follows into the corner. Whitcup has it taken away. Potsdam breaks back the other way. Out to center ice. Here come the Strollers. Bradley across the blue line. His shot knocked down, and it slides but doesn't get through. Tommy Post can't get it out of there. Here's a chance in front. We got another penalty on Tommy Moore. And picking up the puck was Chad Nell in front, and Moore kind of ran into him. Nell fell down, and tripping will be the call.
Referee George Dobbins down in the corner making that call. It wasn't a giveaway. The Raiders got to remember, especially with 5:15, and we've talked about this in other games, Jerry. They had a chance to clear the zone. You can't come out clean all the time and hit your winger with a pass, hit your center with a pass. That time, that whole sequence started when the Raider defenseman couldn't find a forward. Instead of just dumping and clearing the zone, he held and held and held and allowed the Stoners to regroup and put some pressure on, and that directly led to the penalty. So you got to come out. Sometimes it doesn't look clean, but you have to dump it sometimes.
Jake Morris will face off against Putnam in the Massena zone. Off the draw. Puck picked up in the corner. Putnam after it, after Massena had it for a moment. Bigelow pokes it away. It comes free on the other side. That's Sean Putnam. Putnam now stick handles into the corner. Back to the point. He starts to move it in again. Feeds it through. Goes to the side of the net. Stafford Hazen to Brian Putnam. Putnam goes back to the point. Here's the Pinto. His shot knocked down in front. Here's Bigelow breaking out. He just dumps it to center ice. He had Morris, but Morris chose not to break that time as the puck bounces into the Massena zone. They're going to call icing on it as nobody touched it on the way through, and that'll move the faceoff back in Potsdam territory. 57 seconds left in the minor penalty. 4:42 left in the third period. Massena leads at 2-1 on the Peach Jewelers scoreboard.
And you mentioned Jake Morris electing not to break, and that's a smart move. He wanted to make sure. They're up by 1. He wanted to make sure that they cleared the zone before he broke, and would have put Massena down 2 men if they hadn't cleared the zone. So
that's right.
A good, smart move by Jake Morris. We have equipment repair. Kerry Blanchard is down there. I don't know if this is intentional or one of the old ploys that goaltenders use. You know, ref, give timeout, the straps come loose. Gives those key players a chance to get an extra breather out there.
Face-off will be in Potsdam territory. O'Shea out there now with McCracken. He'll face off against Carl Bradley. Face-off right side. Off the draw. The puck still sitting in the circle. It finally comes to Richie Scott in behind the Potsdam net. About 50 seconds left in the power play. Scott flips it to center ice. It's dumped into the Massena zone. Back is Brian LeBack. Looking. Picks up the puck. Doesn't get it out. Grayling keeps it in. Here's Grayling on the corner now. Takes it in the corner. Grayling in behind the net now. Circling around. Grayling now flipping it on the 45. It's Potsdam trying to move it around. That's Chad Nero. Back to Richie Scott at the point. His shot is wide. Puck comes to Grayling again at the 45. Grayling in behind the net now. 20 seconds left in the power play. Flips it to the point. And the shot goes back to the point. Here's Scott's shot. Cullen makes the save and it goes into the corner. In behind the net now. Picking it up. They try to put it right in front. Where is it? The shot and the save by Cullen. He covers it up. As nobody saw that puck for a moment. And now a little pushing and shoving going on. I don't think anything will come of that as Massena's Jason LaBarge and Chris King of Potsdam were talking to each other, but we're down to 6 seconds left in the power play.
Two people saw it, and one in particular wearing the white and orange of Potsdam, Eric Grayling. He saw it sitting off the corner of the post, but he couldn't get there. The Raider defenseman had him tied up, and Dougie Cullen found it in time and covered up. Ooh, boy, a close call. The Sandstoners almost tied this game up.
6 seconds left in the power play as Putnam comes back out to take the face-off with Potsdam and Jake Morris back for the Massena Red Raiders.
Big face-off, Jerry. A big face-off.
Off the draw. Won by Morris. It comes to Tommy Post. Flips it, but Putnam steps in front of his pass. Takes it in behind the net. Trying to center it. Stole it away, and Massena breaks out. Here comes Morris. Stepping by one defenseman. Has it poked away, stays with it. Takes it back out, so they're going to have Cullen offside. But Massena killed that one off. Potsdam had some chances, though. There were a few nervous moments there, but Dougie Cullen made a good play. Jake Morris won the face-off when he had to, and he doesn't miss too many of those.
Key face-off. And the Sandstoners power play basically similar to Massena's. They tried to create that mismatch on one side, and they had an excellent power play. They worked it around, had some good opportunities. Dougie Cullen standing tall. We got a timeout, Jerry. I'm not sure if it's Potsdam. Joey signals me that Potsdam Joe Stark calling a timeout. 3:36 left in this hockey game. The Raiders up by 1.
I want to thank our sponsors who are making our broadcast possible all year long. People like Reynolds Metals and the A-Plus Mini Market, Homestead Dairy, the Seacom Federal Credit Union, Bogosian's Carpet and Furniture and BC Cleaning, Massena Building Supply, the Massena Super Duper, by Netto's, Cheney Tire, Pearl Vision Center, J&S Sports, by North Country Savings Bank, Massena Optics, Paris Environmental Control, and the Pub and Pantry Restaurant. 3:36 left, third period. Massena clinging to a 2-1 advantage here. It's been a dandy hockey game, no question.
Excellent, and we laud the Massena power play, and maybe we don't say enough against that penalty killing unit, but they've killed off 3 in a row here. Massena's taken 3 penalties right in a row at the 3:27, the 5:18, and the 9:45 mark. And Dougie Cullen and company, led by that defensive core, Tommy Post and Jason LaBarge, and the 7-11 combination, and Jake Morris and Jeff Bigelow just have been outstanding this last 5-6 minutes.
Faceoff will be just outside Potsdam territory, and it'll be Jason Jackson's line coming out. Freddie Kellison and Scotty McCracken will be the wingers, and we've got LeBack and who'll be the other defenseman, Jason LaBarge out there.
Jerry, this game is all everything we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Super game. Both teams, fine performance.
Well, I've seen a lot of great hockey games at this Pine Street Arena the last few years between these two clubs. Off the face-off, puck bounces back into the Massena zone. LeBack is there to pick it up. He turns around, has to take it into his corner. Now flips it along the boards, and Massena moves it ahead. Jason Jackson. Here comes Jackson. Overskates it. Puck bouncing along right in front of us, right in front of the scorer's bench. And Jackson throws a couple of checks and finally kicks free to Sean Putnam. Putnam now trying to feed to Pinto, breaking in the zone. His shot, Cullen makes the save. Leaves it for LeBack. Just over 3 minutes, puck comes free to the circle. Here's the turnaround shot, just wide. Cullen, I don't think, saw it until the last second. Now puck in behind the Massena net. LeBack after it there. He circles through some traffic, Potsdam putting pressure on, goes to Kellison. Kellison lugs it to center ice, steps across the red line and dumps it down in the Potsdam zone. Massena's going to make a change here, I believe. 2:44 left. Massena up by a singleton. Aaron Barkley with it. Barkley bounces it. Along the wing, comes into the Potsdam zone. Dumped back into the Massena zone. Tommy Post is there. Post flips it ahead. Comes to Kellison, to Jackson across the blue line. Jason steps by one, gets a shot right on, and the save made by Blanchard. He kind of just directed it right on. Back comes Potsdam, out to center ice. Down the ice is Chris King. Flips to the Massena line. Tommy Moore blocks it. Puck bouncing around and finally dumped in the Massena zone. Tommy Post looking ahead for Jackson. Goes by him into the Potsdam zone. Grayling after it with 2 minutes to play in the third period. Here comes Grayling now. Out to center ice. Has the puck poked away. Whitcup back the other way. He gets tied up and flips it in behind the net. Under 2 minutes to play here. Massena leading by 1 on the Pete scoreboard. In behind it comes. Potsdam in their own end now. Comes to Grayling again. Grayling's long head man knocked down by Whitcup. Whitcup looking for Moore. Moore right back the shot to save Blanchard. And Tommy Moore on a beautiful pass by Whitcup right in front all by himself. Maybe even a little bit too deep, David, as he fired it right into Blanchard's pad.
But I love to see this. The confidence that the coaching staff has in all three of these lines. Here we're down in the 9 seconds, 1:39, and the Raiders got their third unit out. Doesn't matter what unit they've got up there. The coaching staff has confidence, tells these youngsters, sends a message, hey, you can do the job. Excellent. And also, I tell you, young Mr. Brian Levac has had a super third period. This might be his best game he's had all year. He's really standing tall out there.
Jake Morris wins the draw, gets the shot off. Talcott knocks it down. Flips it around the boards, comes out to center ice. Jason Labarge to flip it back to the blue line, back in the Potsdam zone. Here's Grayling. Backhand pass to Putnam. He dumps it, and it goes into the corner. Wide. Levac just flips it on the backhand for Cameron. Cameron feeds Morris, fakes it out for Bigelow. Jeffrey racing for it, picks it up into the zone. Here comes Bigelow, in behind the net now. He gets ridden into the boards, trying to stay with it. About 1:13 left now. Here comes Bigelow just looking. Chris Cameron in there jamming. The puck about halfway out of the zone. It pokes free, and it comes to Carl Bradley, who flips it to the Massena line. Under a minute to play here. Here comes Levac. He looks at the clock, flips it ahead to center ice. Bigelow, he gets railed. The puck comes free. Levac, his pass intercepted. Dumped to the Massena line. Jason Labarge flipping it to Jake Morris. Picks it up. Flips it. Cameron just dumps it in the Potsdam zone. 40 seconds remaining. Massena sends out their third unit again. No, we got Jackson and Fauché. Puck comes to the Massena line. Where is it? Jackson. Jason Labarge. He throws the check right at the blue line. It comes out to center ice. Here's Grayling with it. He's going to drive it. It's blocked. It comes free. Fauché gets knocked down. Grayling is shot from the point. Cullen makes the save. The rebound. Right in front. It goes into the corner. 15 seconds left. Joey Fauché lugs it. Trying to slide it out to center ice. Kept in by Bradley at the point. Comes free to Jason Labarge with 8 seconds. Along the boards it comes. 5, 4, 3. Grayling shot. Deflected up with 2 seconds. 1 second. And there's 1 second left. And the whistle blows. Where's the puck?
It went over it hit the girder, Jerry, and went up over the top of the plexiglass. And referee Wayne Umel is signaling for a face-off with 1 second to the right of Dougie Cullen, just outside the circle. What a great job by Joey Fauché. He took charge down that corner with about 16 seconds, went into the pack of yellow and white jerseys, and came out with a puck. What a great job.
Guess who's going to take the face-off for Massena?
Well, they've got several that can take it, but I know which one.
And we got Grayling stepping up to take the face-off for Potsdam. He's going to try to get a shot.
That's all he wants to do is block his stick.
Off the face-off, the buzzer's down, and Massena wins it. What a dandy hockey game it was. A 2-1 win for the Raiders.
A great win, and two fine, outstanding hockey players that put on a tremendous performance out here tonight. And, boy, they both can hold their heads up high. And we expected as much. It could have gone either way. Great period. The last period, the Raiders controlling the second period, Potsdam the first period, and this last period, probably an edge to the Sandstoners, the sense that they were on the power play, Jerry. But two outstanding teams here. What a hockey game.
I don't know, Dave. I think we got to give the third period edge to Massena. They did score.
Yeah, right. Potsdam did put on a lot of pressure. We'll see what the shots are. Joey's gone down to get him, but
what a super game it was.
Super game. Two outstanding teams.
You don't mind making the ride in the snow to see a hockey game like that.
Oh, boy. And at the end of the game, Eric Grayling, first thing he did, right up on the top of Jake Morris, and, you love to see that. Two hard-fought teams played their hearts out, and no animosity. This is what it's all about.
Okay, Tommy Post over there talking with Kerry Blanchard, and super hockey game. The Massena Red Raiders defeat the Potsdam Sandstoners 2-1 at Pine Street Arena.